The momentum loop breaker system. Today, we're going to discuss how we could break free from self sabotage with proven habits that maintain momentum. This system targets each failure point in the destructive cycle of starting strong, crashing, and quitting. Part of the reason why I even did this is because I'm, in fact, in that situation and I finally got back some momentum and I'm here again posting daily. So, first of all, we have to understand the cycle. So there's the initial effort, burst of motivation, and that creates our early progress. But eventually, there is an emotional crash, energy dip, and then the distraction starts to take over. We start to lose clarity, our purpose fades, and doubts start creeping in. Now, for me, when doubt starts creeping in, it's about our plans and our goals. But I don't fret. We do our best to get back, but we must do our best to get back faster. And eventually, quitting starts to become rationalized. Excuses and distractions really start to sound tempting. Because the thing is this, when we have momentum and we are on an upwards trajectory, the thing is that we are doing work. And the moment we end up stopping and we lose momentum, usually we are doing pleasurable activities, easy, relaxing, pleasurable activities. And taking action does feel uncomfortable for the most part. So, first of all, we gotta lock in the win daily. We gotta identify a 15-minute momentum keeper. So, we have to choose one small goal, one relevant action that pretty much serves us. When we need to commit to this daily, even on off days. Why? Because we want to stay moving, we want to stay flowing, we don't want any blockages. And it's going to reinforce the identity that we don't stop, we keep on going, we keep on flowing. That's where we want to be. We want to stay in flow forever and ever. And remember, it is possible. It's possible, 100% possible to live in flow. You just have to get going. You first have to build the neural pathways, prime your brain for living in flow. That is the challenge with all things, right? The build up, the construction takes time, but once things are up and going, it's easy. It's easy. It's success. I'm telling you, one of the most important things you should be focused on is learning how to stay and live in flow. Trust me, you know when you're flowing. 100%. You know when you're flowing, you know when you're not flowing. 100%. There is no lie to that. It's purely the truth. We know when we are flowing. So we start with control, not chaos. I'm guilty of this. I open my phone. First thing I do is TikTok. I've been trying to really stop because a lot of people on TikTok complain. And no matter how much I say I'm not interested, I get more people complaining. Why? Yes, I know I'm technically choosing this because I end up watching eventually of complaining video for way too long. But I noticed it negatively impacts myself, especially in the morning. Sometimes I wake up and I go on TikTok and it's people complaining about the exes, no contact, or some bullshit like that. And now I'm thinking about the past, which is exactly. First of all, that's terrible. Starting the morning thinking about the past, absolutely terrible. That is a terrible way to start the morning, and I'm aware of it, but I still reach my phone. But luckily, I've been taking time in the morning to set up my intentions for the day, which has been helping. So we wake up, don't reach for your phone immediately. Take 5 minutes to meditate or quietly center ourselves. If you never take the time to center yourself, are you really centered, right? And then write a goal statement. What's our top priority for the day? If we do this, are we accomplished? Yes, 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 yes. And then do 2 or 3 minutes of physical activity to energize. Preventing subtle sabotage. Daily anti-drift reflection. Each day, do or create a brief momentum check. This catches small slips before they become patterns. Remember, things creep up. Been busy trying to clean the house, and every day more things come in, probably more than come out. It's very tough. Gotta look into the throwing out schedule so I can align cleaning with taking out the trash, but I have not done that. But anyways, besides me, then track momentum keepers. Note specific actions that maintain your progress today. Recognize what's working. Last but not least, identify momentum breakers. Honestly record what pulled you off track. Name the emotions or excuses that appeared. For me, I say the primary distraction is probably lust. Um, it's just a random thought that floats. You know what I mean? A random thought floats, and eventually I end up in sort of like a what's the word? Like a rabbit hole, a thought rabbit hole, a lustful rabbit hole, and that's currently one of my goals is to just let go of lustful thoughts. I think it's 100% possible to live without lust, because lust is really conceptual. You know what I mean? Like you could still be a sexual being and stuff like that, and do what you do, but um, nothing going on. Like if you see someone pretty, like the fact that they're pretty and thoughts about them, no good. Let that shit go. Let your body react and keep it moving, but because remember, like lust, you're thinking in whatever language you're thinking. You know what I mean? So sexuality doesn't even have any language. So, anyways, bounce back faster. Create your fall off protocol. Predefine comeback plan when momentum breaks. That is very important. Why? Because we are the sum of our habits. All right. If our habits, I say, man, the more I learn about habits, the more I realize that we do have this thing called free will, but our habits can literally become shackles that constrain us, and we won't be able to execute our free will because our habits don't serve us. Like you can have all the intention in the world. Yes, that's like the aspect of us that has free will, but we are a prisoner in the flesh, unfortunately. You know what I mean? It's not a bad thing, but we are prisoners of the flesh. And we have to really separate from our body, our emotions, and our thoughts. Because, first of all, just the fact that we are aware of our emotions and thoughts, because simple clarity. Imagine if you actually acted on every single thought that has gone through your head. Imagine you acted on every single emotion that has gone through your body. It would be madness. Just by that fact and logic, we pick and choose our emotions and thoughts that we feel aligned with. All right? If we're not aligned with the emotions or thought, we don't act on it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. Simple as that. So, yeah, I was saying like we're prisoners of the flesh, essentially. You know what I mean? Like the body has its own objective, the brain has its own objective, survival, whatever. And it's more like a machine. This body is more like a machine, and you could have all the great intentions in the world, but your habits will be baggage that you have to, unless you change them. You know what I mean? So, anyways, there's that. And also, habits are essentially automatic actions. You feeling me? So if you have a really, really big habit of going on social media and scrolling, you will have urges and cravings. If you are not conscious and aware and present, you will be reaching for your phone. You will be doing whatever habit loop you are doing without even noticing. You will have to catch yourself and break that. That is part of the process. Before you build, you first must destroy. Right? At the roots. So anyways, create your fall off protocol, predefine comeback plan when momentum breaks, then track inputs, not just outputs, measure time spent and attempts, not just the results. Don't live for the results, live for the actual act, okay? That's where people fail. They focus too much on the results and not the actual act. And set minimum floor, no ceiling. Non-negotiable daily minimum with unlimited upside, all right? Next, recognize false signals. Question your breaks. Do I need recovery or am I avoiding friction? That is important. We got to question absolutely everything. The same way you question our thoughts and emotions, question sensations in your body. Do I need recovery or am I avoiding friction, right? Try the 5 minute rule. If it's avoidance, push through for 5 more minutes. Rest without guilt. If truly exhausted, rest strategically with return set time. So, I 100% fall guilty of this. If you take a break, right, and you are resting because you are tired, first of all, if you go on social media, if you go on your phone, that is not resting. That is not resting. Your brain does not have a break. Why? Every time we go on social media, every time we go on our phones, laptop, whatever, it's always new information for the most part. It's always new data that we did not know previously, all right? Because it is new data we did not know, our brain is working, all right? Our brain is working. That is not good. That is still stimulating, and that is not a break. You will not recover. Pause, let go, take a walk, look at your window, let your brain rest from stimulation. And refresh weekly with novelty. Change locations, tools, format to prevent boredom. Now, momentum is the ultimate goal. So choose one consistent daily action. Small steps compound dramatically over time. It could be whatever you want it to be. You could go to the mirror and call yourself beautiful. You could jot down a quick note. You could do jumping jacks, push-ups. Pick something. Pick something that you will do whether you are sick, whether you are healthy. Pick something you will do every day without fail. That will be your anchor. That will be your anchor. That is what's going to take you to the next level. And 7 days per week, the minimum floor happens every single day without break. I think that's why there's like that famous Marine dude that says, make your bed. That is essentially an anchor habit. And then the 60 seconds, the first minute of your day determines its direction. Remember to start your day not distracted but with intention. Yes, the intention can go away. Yes, you will get distracted. But it's like setting a waypoint in the game, You set the waypoint in the game. It's like playing Skyrim for the first time. You could set a waypoint, and along the way you will get distracted. You might find a cave or something. You might travel, you might explore, but then you're back on your way because you know where you're going. If you don't set an intention or a roadmap, you don't know where you're going. Make sure you know where you're going each and every day. And then apply the 5-minute rule. If you're really, really not having it, break your limits. That's it. Your limits are being tested right then and there, and push through 5 minutes. If you can't do 5 minutes, 4, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Whatever you know yourself. Let your ego go to the trash, all right? Throw that ego out. If you can't push for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, all right? Hell, even 5 to 10 seconds. Because sometimes, let's say for me, I don't know, let's say I need to study. I won't even open up the website, all right? So for example, let's say you want to study, right? And you have a book. Do you want to end your day not even opening up the book? Or you actually ended your day with opening up the book and reading the first word? That is, opening up the book and reading the first word is better than not even opening up the book in the first place. You hear me? Just throw your ego out the window and see what you're actually able to carry out. That's what matters. All right? That is it for today. Stay blessed.